Hello everybody, thanks for watching today and welcome back. So what I have for you today, this is my very first knife from Civivi. And so this is not your traditional everyday carry blade, this is actually the modern take of a utility knife. And so your traditional box cutter slash utility knife, this one was transformed with some modern materials here, and so I wanted to show this off. And so this one right here, we have titanium handles. It's called the Civivi Mandate. And so I'm just going to give you kind of a closer look at it. And so taking a look at the handles here, these are anodized blue and they look like they have a stonewash finish on them. This particular knife I picked up from GP Knives, but they are landing at a lot of different knife retailers as we speak right now. But again, this knife, while it is new to me, this style of knife is something I've been super interested in because I have seen this style of knife for quite a while now. If you ever browse Aliexpress, I know they have a knife section, they have a lot of knives for sale, a lot of them are clones and knockoffs, but they do have some really cool, unique stuff as well. And I have seen on that site they have utility knives similar to this one, and I've wanted to buy one for quite a while, but you know, whenever you buy overseas, you're always wondering, okay, am I going to get it in 2 weeks? Am I going to get it in 2 months? So I'm really glad that Civivi brought this knife to the US market so that I can buy it from a reputable retailer and actually have it in a few days. So this particular one, they went all out in producing this knife, and so let's see what it's about. So the best thing about this thing, it has multiple purposes, of course, but the first and foremost is this blade. It is a replaceable blade because it's, of course, a utility knife, but they included in the box this really nice Damascus blade. And now the blade steel isn't anything to write home about. It's 9CR13 MOV in the Damascus, but still the presentation is really nice. And it came out of the box with this blade installed because, of course, I guess they're trying to, to show it off and to impress the buyers of the knife. And it really, out of the box, great presentation. So if you were going to get this as a gift or something, I think the buyer's going to be like, wow, when they first see this sucker. But look at the blade. I'll give you a close-up of it, and you can see those circular patterns on there. I was looking up Damascus patterns because I wanted to know what to call it. And it's almost a raindrop pattern with those circles on it. But when I looked at the actual definitions of the patterns, I think it's closer to a typhoon Damascus because of those circles and the lack of a patterning between each circle. But again, you can feel free to let me know if you think it's something else. But nonetheless, super thin Damascus blade. Came with that one installed, but it also comes with 3 additional blades in the box. So when you open this guy up, of course you get the stickers, your instructions. Unfortunately, this is just a generic instruction page, so it doesn't actually tell you how you change the blade on the knife, which is something I wish they would have included. But under here we get 3 additional blades, and these are all, again, plain blades, but they are 9CR13 MOV. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but in very small text at the bottom down here, it actually says the blade type. But again, we have 3 extra blades, because if you do use this as a utility knife, chances are you're going to dull your blades or they might break or snap because they're so thin. I do want to know from Civivi if they're going to provide replacements or sell replacements, I should say, and what the pipeline is for that. And also instructions on how to change it, because let's look at the construction of the knife itself. So we have titanium handles. This button depresses and allows you to slide out the blade. And there are different places where it catches, so if you want to have it partially open, that's fine too. Just like any traditional utility knife would do. So there it is, fully retracted. And the blade itself, the handle is super thin, so we can do a quick measurement. Let's see what we're at. So yeah, not quite 7 millimeters thick on the handle. And let's retract it because I want to see how wide it is at the widest point where both the button and the pocket clip are. So right there, at the thickest point, we're still about 15.5 millimeters thick. So even then, it's still a pretty diminutive knife, in my opinion. Very lightweight, 2.49 ounces. So titanium handles help with that, and I do like they included a pocket clip because some of the things I saw on these similar knives from Aliexpress, a lot of them don't include a pocket clip because again they're not meant to be really everyday carried. But Civivi knows what they're doing. They took all of the best aspects of those knives from China and produced it, and they brought it over here. And so what they added to it is they put their own logo on the back here, right next to the lanyard hole, and you will notice that lanyard hole actually has some hex holders, so you could use that as a bit driver or a way to open hex bits. On the tip here is one of the things I was really happy to see, of course, and as you already saw from this video, we have a nice bottle opener on the front, and so that gives this knife probably its #1 use for me is to open up some beer bottles, open up some bottles I should say. So that's really nice to have that built in and included. And of course the pocket clip you can see right here. You can check out the profile. Pretty low profile pocket clip. It's not deep carry or anything, but it is another titanium piece on this knife. So check out the spring action. Pretty nice. Again, they included the pocket clip, the hex drivers, the bottle opener, in addition to the actual blade itself, which has this really nice Warncliffe-ish style blade. If you go to Aliexpress and actually search for this type of knife, they call them paper cutting knives or paper knives. I don't know if that's just a bad translation from box cutter, but that would be the term you would want to use. And most of them use a blade similar to this. Some of the new ones on that site, though, however, have a whole bunch of different blade shapes, from spear point to drop point to tanto to reverse tanto. And I wonder if a lot of those are going to be compatible with this knife. And so it might be worth spending a few bucks to purchase them just to see if they would fit in the Civivi Mandate. That being said, Civivi, if you're watching this, that might be a good idea for you to introduce some really cool blade types, because you can imagine how much you could expand this knife and just make it look really badass with a lot of different types of steel and blade shapes out there. So that's a really good suggestion on their part. But that being said, what I wish was included here was some instructions on how to change this blade. Because I do see there are 4 T6 Torx screws on the back side, so I'm wondering if I take that apart, if that's the way to do it. On the actual knob right here, as you move it up and down, if you wanted to lock it in place, you can actually turn it and it'll tighten down and you won't be able to close it anymore. But on the flip side, if you keep turning it the other way, it'll probably pop right out eventually, and I'm wondering if pulling that out would let you slide the blade out in some way or shape. Not sure. So again, they didn't really include the instructions on that, so I'm not 100% sure. Maybe at some point I'll go through and try and change the blades. For myself, I'm not going to use this in heavy duty use. I am more of a collector than a user, and having this Damascus blade on here is exactly what I was hoping for, because it is absolutely gorgeous. So a lot of what I was asking for from a knife like this is exactly what they provided. And so I know a lot of people out there are going to be like, what? I'm not going to pay $80, $90 for a box cutter. And I totally get it. Because if you intend on use this as a user knife, or you're a contractor or someone who uses their knives and beats on them hard, these thin blades are probably going to snap, they're going to dull, and this might not be the best value for you, to be honest. This is more for a person who wants to everyday carry a knife that is not a folding knife, it's not an auto knife, it's something that has multiple uses, like your bottle opener, and it's just thin and pocketable, easy to carry. So I think that's kind of what they were going for here, and they really did knock it out of the park. But that being said, let's take a look at size comparisons here, because I do have another couple of knives to show it off against. So I do want to compare it. This is the Spyderco Endura. Right there. So the Endura has a 4-inch blade, so of course much larger. We also have the Kershaw Blur right there next to it. So it is a smaller knife. So overall inch with the blade fully out, it's about 6.5 inches of overall length. Once you retract the blade, it's about 4.5 inches or so. So again, it's a smaller knife meant to be carried, but it fits my hand perfectly fine, perfect for bottle opening, and this is just the type of thing you take to a barbecue, show off to the guys, something like that. And it gets the idea of Civivi and these high-end knives out there. So great idea to do that. But again, really nice knife. I'm so glad Civivi brought these to the US market. We have our 3 extra blades in the box. And again, I don't have too much to complain about other than once I want to change the blade, I'm not sure how to do that. My gut thought is I need to take these screws out and hopefully not strip anything, and hopefully it'll just pop right out and be super straightforward. I'm not quite there yet. I don't want to destroy my knife or strip out the threads on the first day I have it, so definitely not going to do that quite yet. But that being said, these super thin blades, very sharp, beautiful, beautiful finish. I do love the blue stonewash. They have it also in a gray stonewash, as well as I believe a bronze stonewash as well. So there are a couple of different varieties you can get for this knife out here. But again, any questions about this knife, feel free to let me know. I think I covered everything I wanted to mention about it. You know, lightweight, small size, very thin, replaceable blades, size comparisons. But again, if you guys have any questions about those types of things, feel free to let me know. I just wanted to share this one with everyone because the Mandate, for me, I think this fits a lot of purposes, perfect for everyday carry. But you all have a great day. Again, any questions, leave a comment. I'll do my best to answer. And have a nice day. Bye-bye.